Hey guys, it's Tim from Game Talk.
I'm Dan.
I'm Caleb.
Today we're here to talk to you about Wolves of Mercia. This is a social deduction werewolf style game. I hate to pigeonhole it like just as that.
There's a werewolf card.
But there is a werewolf.
It's werewolf.
And it's so much more.
It's so much more.
It is, but
It's so much more. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about Wolves of Mercia. We're going to kind of explain how the game's played a little bit, rate things from 1 to 5 on our opinions and our experiences, and hopefully can help you make a decision whether or not this is something you'd want to find. So the first category that I go off of is accessibility. So how hard is this game to find? How hard is this game to teach? And I'll go first, I guess.
Sure.
I am only aware of this game because of this man. And I don't know where he found it, maybe Kickstarter, or did you find it just surfing the web?
On their website after it was done with Kickstarter.
Okay. So, and I went to their website and got it. So as far as accessibility goes, as far as finding it in the wild, it's not great.
No.
That's probably my biggest knock on this game. Now, teaching this game is not that hard. There is more to it than a regular werewolf. Maybe even more than Ultimate Werewolf as far as social deduction games go. So for me, accessibility is a 3.
Okay.
It's because of the limitation, mostly on finding it, and it is more to teach than like if I'm going to bust out like Werewolves of Miller's Hollow or Ultimate Werewolf, which are very easy to teach, not as fulfilling, but very easy to teach. This is a little more complex. So while in other categories that is going to bolster things for me, right now here in this one, it makes between that and you just, I have yet to walk into a game store and just see this guy hanging out on a shelf.
Sure, and I'm hoping it gets there.
Right, it needs to.
Yeah.
It needs to. By the end of this review, you're going to hear me say that a whole bunch.
Right.
I'm sure. So and how about you guys?
yeah, I have a tendency to agree with you mainly because I haven't seen it out in the wild either.
Sure.
And I can understand where you're coming from on the teachability front. Although I don't think that's that big a deal. I'm willing to give it a 4, mainly because all the roles are what they say they are. All the cards are what they say they are.
They are.
And if anyone at the table is familiar with the concept of a social deduction game, then it's pretty easy to get going.
But it does fall into that trap sometimes of all social deduction games is, oh, when does the grave robber do? And it's like, okay, you're the grave robber.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Correct.
But all of those hidden role games, right? Like fall victim to that.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, okay. I mean, I won't argue with a 4 because it isn't that hard to teach if people are already familiar
Correct.
with werewolf or other hidden role
Sure.
social deduction games. So yeah, I give it a 3 because it was harder to find. I was lucky to have it introduced to me.
Right.
But and I'm really like I've become kind of an advocate for this game. Like for anybody I think will like it.
Right.
I'm like, oh guys, like no, seriously, you got to play this.
Right.
But it is not the easiest game to go, right? They're not going to just be able to run down to the game store or a big box store and go boop and pull it off the shelf like you would Ultimate Werewolf, know, or One Night whatever. So
I'll give it a 4, and it's only because there's 2 things that I think knock the 2 negatives to this game in this category. Is, first of all, it's not in your local game store and stuff yet, right? But it's very easy to find the website.
Yes.
It's very easy to buy off the website.
Yes.
And the shipping is very quick.
Yes.
So that doesn't completely counter that point, but I think it's a good middle ground.
Right, but I'm lazy.
Sure.
And it doesn't just fall.
Well, you don't go out of your house if you get it off the
Try not
website.
to. Right.
You know?
Right.
And as far as teaching goes, I mean, it's just that it falls under the thing that other werewolf games do, to where it's just if you think people are going to have a hard time with this one, be the moderator of the first game.
Yeah.
Be the moderator, teach the game. You can just look at people's cards, tell them what they have to do, blah, blah, blah. And then the nice thing with this game, which we'll go into later, is then once people start learning the game, you don't have to be the moderator anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 4, just because I think the negatives are slightly countered by its positives.
And I don't really have any qualms with the 4s. I think but from my own experience and what I would look for and just being lazy, yes. And it is a little more complex.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't bring that up. It's a bit complex, but I'll say what he was saying. Like I actually, when I got this game, this is fun, right? Because I introduced it to him because I liked it so much, and we played it at our get together and everything. I had never played a werewolf game before.
You never played any
This
werewolf
was my
game?
first one. I have watched videos. I have.
Well, now my 3 looks dumb.
I know, right? But I have watched videos. I love watching these, and I saw someone do a video, like a gameplay of this online, and I was just like, I'm gonna get that.
Sure.
All the things that I haven't liked about the games, I like this one. I'm gonna get it. And so me going to this blind, it was easy to learn. It was easy to teach.
All right.
Know, so
all right.
So basically, his number sucks.
It's terrible. It's terrible. That's fine. That's fine because now we're going to go into components.
Mm-hmm.
For me, components. This is a 5 out of 5. I love the artwork. I love the tarot style cards.
So thematic.
I can't rave enough about it. I mean, the cubes are fine. They're functional.
Yeah.
They do exactly what they're supposed
cubes.
to do. No, they're not bad cubes. These punch-out bits are good. Everything does what it's supposed to do. I mean, the artwork is really good. This little board, it adds so much to this game because when everybody in the night phase and everybody's got their eyes closed and certain characters are opening their eyes and doing different things. I mean, this board is filling up, right? So like the first thing you do when you open up your eyes, like you open up, you're like, oh no, how those cubes get there?
There's an arsonist, or
right?
What's going on?
So for me, like the components, there's nothing like really flashy about it, but the artwork is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistent, and I get everything I want out of it, right? And again, tarot size cards, right? So even just that these are tarot cards, they're not, but they are, like adds its own sort of feel for me to the game. So yeah, it's a 5 out of 5 on components.
See, I'm just going to be a broken record and say I agree. I think it's a 5. I mean,
I was going to dare you
the artwork,
to disagree.
The artwork itself just speaks volumes for its quality.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Come on.
I'm just going to be a broken record and say it's a 5.
I thought I was going to have to kick someone.
Itself.
I was going to kick somebody under the table. Like, don't you dare.
This game is so beautiful, man.
It really is.
I literally don't know if I can pick something that I'm like, about. Like, the board is so nice. This is clear and concise. All of these are clear and concise. And you know exactly, like, when they're in front of someone, what they do, what they mean, right? The cards, they're so descriptive of, like, when you read your card, you know, and you'll have multiple chances to read your cards in this one. And like, so you always know what you're doing, what the cards do.
Yes.
I
love it. I love it. Okay. So now, gameplay.
Uh-huh.
Gameplay, now I'm going to lead into a few things with gameplay. Personally, me, I love social deduction games. Also me, they kill me first every time because I love social deduction games. And because if you don't kill me first, I might win. And people hate to see me win, mostly because I get up and I do like a dance and it's embarrassing. So people just kill me right off the bat to spare themselves that. But I love social deduction games. I hate the Resistance. I hate that game. Oh. I don't like playing it. But I love I don't really like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I do like Wolves of Miller's Hollow. I don't know why. But those are the ones I do, right? I love like Secret Hitler, right? I like playing those kind of games. I like hidden role games. I like trying to figure out who is what and who's doing what. And I got at least one friend that has the worst poker face in the whole world. And I love calling that person out.
Yeah.
I get just such joy doing it. And this game like feeds right into those kind of things. The other thing that is amazing is that your roles may switch.
Yep.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep paying attention. Like, because you're like, I'm the werewolf. This is going to be fun. I'm going to do this. And then you wake up the next day, in the next day phase, and you're like, oh, I'm not a werewolf anymore. What am I going to do? And all of these guys, it's not just like, oh, werewolf wins or villagers win. All of these guys have like unique win conditions.
Right.
And they, I win, and then it's like, well, if they win, I win instead.
Right. Well, there's the blackmailer is, you win if somebody, triggers your blackmail.
Right. There's so many awesome things, and there's a day phase and a night phase, and it's not just because in regular werewolf, the day phase is just like, well, Dan's a werewolf because, he burped.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
well, Tim's a werewolf because I heard him move. I heard
his eyes open.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Tim's a werewolf because Tim's always a werewolf.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's fine.
I've never played with him, but it's true.
It is true. And it's fine. It's fine. Those are fine. You can get past it if you play with like the right group of people. But like this actually has strategy. And this, to me, there's so much going on that like this is like, oh no, like I've really got to be present and pay attention and see what's happening and like really read people and not just go off of, well, they're a good liar.
Sure.
So for me, gameplay, all of that, I spoke like a half hour, all of that this is a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love the gameplay. I love social deduction games. I love, especially if you bring new elements to it. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel, but man, it's putting a real nice hubcap on it, right? I mean, this thing is, I love it. It's 5 out of 5.
See, I'll agree with you, but I'm going to agree for different reasons.
Okay.
So I do like the day and night and the two roles. That's great. However, what really gets it for me is when you die, when you're killed, you get a special card that changes how the game plays
And you still do stuff.
And you still do stuff. And I think
good.
I think that is a great mechanic. And for a social deduction game where you can get killed for any stupid reason,
yes,
I think that's a great thing to have to keep players engaged and to make sure that everyone at the table is having a good time.
Absolutely, that's a good point. I was so busy gushing about everything else that yes.
So it's a 5 for me for that reason. Now
that we've hogged all the good things,
it's a 1. No, I'm just kidding. It's a 1 because they talk too long.
Right.
This is a 5. I got this game for a reason. I introduced this game for a reason.
Yep.
I love this game, and for a couple things. First of all, something I was going to bring up: the player elimination problem in a lot of werewolf games.
Yep.
Doesn't happen in this game.
Nope.
And you might see like, oh well, there's only 4 people. It's like, yeah, but the game only goes for 5 days.
Yep.
So it has this thing that like I haven't played with the full number of people, right?
Sure.
So technically, right, you could get to the last night and there could be someone who's dead and can't do anything because all the ghosts have already been taken.
Sure.
But that's only if you're playing with a bunch of people and if you make it all the way through all 5 days.
Right.
And the odds of that
Exactly.
still aren't great.
Yeah.
And I will play this game enough to get to that scenario.
Sure. And then you'll be able to talk about it.
Right.
But so player elimination problem, gone. Something that's in a lot of werewolf games that there's a reason I haven't played them is like the whole like you're either on team A or team B.
Right.
In a lot of werewolf games, and you got to figure out who's on team A and kill them, or team B needs to survive, right?
It's
in
team
this
B.
one, yeah. In this one, you're either on a cultist team,
Right.
or you're on your own team.
Yep.
So and there will always be cultists
Yep.
in the game, so there will always be some hidden number of people that are on a team, but then everyone else has their own win condition.
Right. There is only one werewolf.
I love that.
There's only one werewolf.
And there's only one werewolf.
And if the werewolf dies, it doesn't end the game.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. This really does so many new and neat things with the werewolf social deduction game.
See, it's to a point where I say, what's the website? I kind of want it.
All right. Oh, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know.
I will say, while I'm giving it a 5, I don't think it's perfect. I have played with a couple people where they found their day guy boring compared to other people's day person.
Yep.
And so, like, it's not perfect. You're gonna be like, oh, this one's not as interesting, but maybe your nighttime card is,
But your
super
nighttime
awesome.
card is baller.
Oh, there's some.
Right.
I cannot remember what it is right now, so this is a total waste of me talking. But there's some combination where you're like the courtesan and is it like the hunter or whatever? What's it called? The slayer. Where
you
the
can
courtesan
just
and the slayer
jump up and kill somebody,
where
but the courtesan can see somebody.
The courtesan can open her eyes during someone else's turn, so she can open up during the werewolf's turn. And then if you're also the slayer,
Yep.
you know,
You can then
you
kill
can
the
kill the werewolf.
the
Like,
werewolf.
I want that card combination so bad.
Seriously.
No, seriously. 5 out of 5. This game, I've only had the chance to play a couple times, 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
Every time has been an
Now-
amazing experience.
Now, yeah, and it is a 5 out of 5 across the board. And it does suffer from some of the same limitations for social deduction games, right? Get to more of it in like the general overview. But I mean, if this even is close to like anything you're interested in, this is a no-brainer. And moving on into the price and the value, this game is very, very, very cheap. It is very cheap. And it is so valuable to me that if you touch my cards, I will break your fingers. No, I'm just kidding. I love this game. This is a game that I'm probably going to buy sleeves for.
Yeah.
And it's not that the card quality is not good. I mean, the card quality is
You're just
really
gonna
good.
play it that much.
But I'm gonna play it that much. I'm gonna throw sleeves on it because I want this game to be pretty. I love this game, and it is so much bang for your buck. And this game is very cheap. It is, yeah. If you can, I would love it if these guys were able to get this game into game stores, because it's like these guys are like, if you hear a song on the radio and you're like, everybody needs to hear this song, or everybody needs to see this movie, like that's how I feel about this game for anybody that is remotely close to this. So price and value is a 5 out of 5, like for me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to agree.
I'm sorry, I'm hogging all
We'll
the
let
points.
you talk first. It's fine.
It's fair.
But no, this is easily something that's special for us too. It might be because of where we live, where we're located.
Yeah.
But there was also no shipping or anything for this game either. So like you buy it off their website, super fast shipping and free shipping.
Right.
So this game is just insanely
and you get it
worth
at MSRP. So if you can find it in the store, then you don't even have to wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting it to stores, I think, is right now what we're waiting on, seeing what will happen with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Okay, so now who is this game for?
Everyone.
Everyone, right? Well, there are going to be people, and I get it, that don't like social deduction
in
games.
general.
Right.
In general, they don't want to play them, and that's fine. I will play this with other people.
I was gonna say, you know what the best part is? You can get someone who doesn't like social deduction into this game.
I was gonna say
purely because it's not Team A versus Team B.
Exactly.
It's Team E.
Exactly.
So you can tell them, hey, look, I know you don't like the social deduction aspect of it, but there's no mob mentality in any part of this game.
Right, and so at the same time, you are playing your own game, right?
Right.
You're playing for your own objective, but at the same time, like the player interaction is there enough.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
no, definitely.
the thing is if I'm spending all my time trying to shut Caleb down, Dan's going to win, right? I mean, so you can't just go after one guy.
Right.
Now, you might for a turn, but I mean, if you spend the whole game doing that, you're not going to win.
Right.
You're just not going to win.
Also, on the point of getting non-social deduction people into this game, like half the rules aren't even social deduction.
Exactly.
Like the lovers, they don't care.
Exactly.
They
Right.
don't care what anyone else is. They just
Exactly.
need to live.
Right.
And
So, and that's my point is because there's no, hey, we're all going to vote to kill somebody part.
Yeah,
right.
You don't. It's not even as big a social deduction game as like regular Werewolf is.
Right.
And so
Right.
I think you can get people who don't like those games
Sure.
to play this one.
Sure.
yeah,
So,
it just has that overall feeling of social deduction when
Right.
really half the people playing might not even look at it that way.
Exactly.
It's just a asymmetrical win condition
Exactly.
game.
Right, because the social deduction aspect really only comes into a few of the specific character
Right.
classes.
Well,
right?
there's one of them where I think if you die, you win. So you kind of have to.
Yeah.
You kind
Right.
of have to be careful.
like
if you-
anti-social
Yeah. You
deduction.
kind of
Yeah,
have to.
it's-
Yeah. You kind of have to like if for instance you're the werewolf, you kind of go okay. He may be in this game. I got to be careful who I'm killing here.
Right. Yeah. It's so good. Anyway, so overall, this game will have some of the limitations that social deduction werewolf games. It will carry some of that stigma.
Right.
I don't necessarily feel that it is all warranted because
No.
I think if you can get somebody to the table and play this with you, they will see this for what it is. And there are going to be people that don't want the complexity, right? They want to have a beer, they want to eat some pretzels,
Correct.
and they just want to play werewolf and goof around.
Yeah, and just talk.
And that's fine. Like this game requires more
Right.
of you.
Correct.
It demands more of your attention.
Correct.
Right? But you're not going to get killed just because you have to use the restroom in the middle of a round.
Correct.
Because that is generally the rule, right? If somebody gets up to use the bathroom during werewolf, they're a werewolf, you vote to kill them, they come back, hey, you're dead.
If they sneeze, their werewolf kill them.
Yep.
It's really no holds barred. It's
Yeah.
for anything.
So for me, overall, this is very easy, a 5 out of 5. No asterisk.
Yep.
No asterisk.
I agree.
Because I can teach this to a lot of people. It's a little more in-depth than your regular werewolf. And not just... So, one night Ultimate Werewolf, right? Where it's like, oh, this game plays from 1 to 99. And it's like, just because you have 99 cards in your box does not make it that I want to play a game that, I don't. Just get away from me. I want to play this, though. Like if you can go... Now, this goes up to 16. and I would be really interested to see how it plays with 16.
Oh boy.
Because I think it would be a madhouse.
That's a lot of cultists.
I think you would have to have a mediator for that one.
But
someone to actually like look at the order and go, okay.
right, but if I could run this game with 10 people, 12 people even maybe. And I played bigger werewolf games and had a good time with about those numbers. And it keeps the speed of the game moving. And this game goes quick. If you got a bummer character and you don't like it, or you're just not really sure when you want to use it, and you're like, nah, I don't love it. And the game will be done soon, and odds are everybody's going to want to play another round.
Right.
At least one more round, just so you can see something else, right? So for me, it's a 5 out of 5. There's so much in this little box, and it's so affordable, and it's so pretty. And the stories you get to tell afterwards, because it's like, when you switch this card, I was about to do this, and then you switch this card, and I woke up, and I'm not this guy anymore. We did that.
Want to give me a high five again?
When I was dead, and you swapped me with the character who couldn't win under any circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
Which is against the rules.
Which I played wrong, and that's fine. We lived and learned.
Yeah,
I lived, he learned.
I'll go more in depth in a different video, but I had one of the most amazing things with Tim. I don't get this with Tim very often, where he thought he won. He was so happy.
I was dancing. My shirt was almost
all the way. He
gave me
a high five, and I was like, Tim, when you win, I win. And we high-fived, and I said, instead. And he was like, he got so defeated.
I laid under the table and cried for like an hour.
Yeah. So are we doing overall, or this is just...
no, this is overall.
This is overall.
We're discussing
overall.
Overall, this is a 5 out of 5 for the 3 reasons. I'm hoping I can remember the third reason by the time I get to it, because the first one is player elimination, gone.
Right.
Gone. The second one is Team A and TB, gone. I talked about that. And the third one was
social
deduction.
No, I just had it a second ago, man.
You should have started with
the third one. I mentioned it at the very beginning. You don't need a moderator in this one.
Nope.
That's something that in a lot of werewolf games, one person has to sit out and moderate. And with this one, the moderator is just allowed to also play. You know, and that's really big for me. That's one of the reasons I got it, was because I don't want to have to moderate as the teacher.
If you're the teacher, you're almost always going to have to be the moderator, especially when playing with new people.
I actually don't feel like that's a big drawback. I enjoy that part of it myself.
I like it, but I want to play sometimes
too.
And if you're the teacher, you can't. Now, I will say I went kind of all out and like made a recording, like a professional recording of myself going through all the stuff with like music and stuff so that I could play and still
really
not have to talk.
Okay, that's awesome.
But
I'm going to have to steal that.
It's good. It's good.
But yeah, those 3 reasons alone, I mean, this game skyrockets. This 5 out of 5, I'm done talking.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, guys. It's a really great game. Go out, find Wolves of Mercia.
Yeah, if you like any werewolf type game, you have to try this.
This is the one. This is the one for me. This has supplanted all others and is now king of the mountain. So for me, yeah, it's amazing. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I've been Tim.
I'm Dan. Caleb.
Have a great day.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.